Thank you, Kai, for allowing me to preach tonight, and I'm very happy to be here and be with my friends tonight. And let's go ahead and go when I pray preaching. No, I did thank you for this day. She's continuing to use me now. She's continuing to preach the word and just help me to speak that truth in love. Wonderful Lord. Amen. This is the title of it is the time of the trouble that we are facing. The time of the trouble that we are facing. So turn your Bible to John chapter 18. That first point is called that the denial itself with a fail. Let me say it again. That the denial itself with a fail. It's in verse 15 to 27. And it said, and Simon Peter followed Jesus, and so did another disciple, that the disciple was known unto the high priest, and went in with Jesus into the palace of the high priest. And Peter stood at the door without. Then went out that other disciples, which was known unto the high priest, and spake unto her that kept that door, and brought in Peter. Then said that the damsel that kept that door unto Peter, art not thou also one of this man, the disciples? He said, I am not. And the servant and also stood there, who he made a fire of coals, for it was cold, and they warmed themselves, and Peter stood with them and warmed himself. And the high priest and then Jesus of whom his disciples in of his doctrine. Jesus answered him, I speak openly to the world. I have taught in the synagogues and in the temple, whether the Jews always with sword, and in secret have I said nothing. Why actest thou me, and ask them which heard me, what I have said unto them? Behold, that they know what I said. And when he had thus spoken, one of the officers, which stood by, struck Jesus with the palm of his hand, saying, as is the high priest so? Jesus answered him, if I have spoken evil, bear witness of the evil, but if well, why smilest thou me? In the verse 24, now Ananias had sent him bound Caiaphas, the high priest. So, so this is talk about one of the disciples of Christ, Simon Peter, was afraid and was taking the friend away. That Jesus was about to die on the cross, but that he was so afraid that he didn't know what he's doing. That sorry, that he was so afraid that he cannot help himself. That he was to trust in him. That we need to trust in him more. Like what time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. Like I'm afraid. I mean, you just get scared and you don't know what you're doing. And that he wanted to go in at the temple and see what's going on, and he was so afraid that he cannot help himself. That why they have to taking him away? Says we don't want him to die, but he trying to stop them from killing him, and so when we are in the trouble, we never be afraid with God. But we're having trouble with our spirit, and that we need to do it, not do. It's something when a crisis is with us, and that we know that we are with Him in the glory. And also when we are in the trouble, we make mistake and sin against God. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistake and sin against God. That we cannot do anything. But one of the truth hurts. Well, then let that go, and that that is how it go, and God makes us how to forgive them, and that we need to love each other and obey one another. And point number two, that that dying itself with sin and shame is in the same the title on verse 19. It said, the high priest then asked Jesus of the disciples and of the doctrine, and verse 20. Due to 24. Now, and I had sent him bound under Caiaphas, the high priest. It's a talk about that. Jesus knows that he's going to die on the cross for his sin, and that he's forsaking his Father by saying, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? And he knows that he's having trouble with that. That he cannot help himself, but that's all he got. But his trouble is having the trouble. His spirit is having a very doubt and saying that we are crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live. Christ live in us. Then Galatians chapter 2. So can you please turn there, please? Verse 20 said, I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live. Yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. And life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. And that's by that way. I go crucified with him, and so let's just say we are in the council with Christ, being and suspended upon with him, and we're taken away of his friends and dying. That we know that we're in the same circumcision that Christ that we have and love him, and also in Mark 15 is and talk about that we are with him that on. I don't know what I'm saying right now. And it's in verse 34. And it said, in other night hours, Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which being interpreted, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? I want to underline, why hast thou forsaken me? Now, that's a question that he was asking to his father, and he's asking not a question, but to the Jews, saying, if I have spoken evil, bear witness of the evil. Why is this one down me? Now, that's a simple question that we must know about that kind of question. It's saying a question that we must answer about my father. Because that's what his father wants him to do. But dying on the cross for his sins. And also for point number 3, that doubt itself with madness. Go to Matthew chapter 28. Matthew chapter 28, verse 15 to 17, and it said, so they took their money and did as they were taught. And this saying is commonly we put it among the Jews until this day. Then the 11 disciples went away into Galilee, into the mountain where Jesus had appointed them. And when they saw him, they worshipped him, and some doubted. And also, in John, chapter 20 as well, verse 19 to the 9. And it's just, wait, hold on, 19. Yeah, 20. Sorry. And it said, this book he signifying by what death he should die, so to glorify God. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's it. And when he had spoken this, he said unto him, wait, what? 20. Sorry, I'm in the wrong chapter. Sorry. Oh, here it is. But the timers, one of the 12, called Didymus, was not with him. When Jesus came, that other disciples therefore said unto him, we have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, except I see in his hands the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and thus my hand into his side, I will not believe. And after 8 days, again his disciples were with him, and Thomas with them. Then came Jesus, that the door was being shut, and stood in the midst, and said, peace be unto you. Then said he to Thomas, where is the heel of thy finger, and behold, my hands, and reach hither thy hand, and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believing. And Thomas answered and said unto him, my Lord and my God. And he said that that's the type that Thomas wasn't there, and he that doubted that Jesus was alive, and Jesus was there, and he said, my Lord and my God, and he saw him with his eyes. And that's an amazing thing, that we need to worship him and not the doubted on him. It's like Pontius Pilate, and he heard that sitting with women about, but people saw him and that he's alive, and he said, I refuse that he's alive. And he was so mean about it that he wanted want other people to be killed. And that's, I do think that's where I was saying, but they said there's nothing to refuse that Jesus is alive. There's no need to doubt that Jesus is alive. But Jesus Christ is the Lord of God, and he came to this world, that we need to believe in him more and worship him. And also it said, there's no need to doubt him now. There's no need to doubt him now, that Jesus Christ is alive, and we believe that he is the life of this world. And I was watching this show is called the kids show. It's called Lazarus. The two women, Mary and Martha, was the sisters of Lazarus. That he was just very sick and about to die. But at the Thomas, no, not Thomas, Jesus came and raised from the dead, and he thanked his God and saying, and I don't know what he said, and thank God and that raised from the dead, and said, Lazarus, come forth, and he come forth. And that I assume the curve was gone, and he here completely. And that they learned the powerful lesson that Jesus Christ, and the time is always perfect. It's always perfect. And they said, worship him is good thing, but never doubt it on him. We never doubt on Jesus Christ. That we need to believe in him. That Jesus Christ came to this world to save his people's life. And the song I wanted to sing tonight is, who is on the Lord's side? that's a very good song, and that definitely will help us that who is who should with them at all times. Like Samuel Peter is outside of the temple, and I feel that taking sisters away, and sisters was our way to the place called the place of the skull, which is meant to um, uh, place of skull, Mount Golgotha. And that's Hebrews is saying. So thanks for answering this message.